All right, welcome back to the Unnamed Movie Car Podcast, recording at you live from Culver City, California.
All right.
Meaning we watched Hot Cars, the 1956 film, directed by Don McDougal. Is it
I don't know.
D-O-U-G-A-L-L?
Maybe.
Starring John Bromfield, Joy Lansing, and Mark Dana, and they are all dead, so be careful with your words.
Wow. Wow. You know who's not in here?
Who?
Craig Lieberman.
Wow, that is the fastest Craig Lieberman. That is the fastest Craig Lieberman we've had to date.
Well, I don't know, because I was listening to one of our podcasts today because I'm bored.
Right.
And I went for a walk. I took the dog for a walk, and I was listening to one of our podcasts, and it was Smoking the Bandit.
Okay.
And we shouted out Craig Lieberman like in an instant because we had done it 3 times. It was our 3rd time recording.
Oh, wow.
And so we shouted out right away.
Oh, yeah, that one we had to keep restarting. Was it Smoking? Is Smoking the Bandit out right now?
Oh, no, it was Cannonball Run.
Cannonball Run.
Burt
Reynolds.
Run. We did. Yeah, Burt
the
Reynolds.
Burt Reynolds paradox is what tripped you up there.
Yes, which, by the way, we decided that we're going to do all of our podcasts about Burt Reynolds and Smoking the Bandit.
We're actually going to do a 6-part series on his mustache evolution, so get ready for that.
Right. All right.
But we watched Hot Cars. This was my choice. This is streaming on Amazon Prime, and I don't think it's going to go anywhere because I don't think people are really fighting for the rights of this one.
Well, you can buy the DVD.
Right. So, I read a couple forum posts, and people said that this movie's pretty unknown. Do you have notes?
Nope.
Sorry, I forgot to start our podcast timer.
We have a podcast timer.
How far are we in? So I'll just add to it.
We're 1 minute and 47 seconds.
Cool. Okay, so we're only a minute off.
Minute 40.
Yeah, minute 40. Who cares? It's diplomacy.
I know. Potato.
So Hot Cars, 1956 film. Oldest film we've done by far. By like 2 decades at least. We haven't done any 60s. Wait. When was Chitty Chitty Bang Bang?
That was, I don't know.
Okay, well, let me get on the Googs
we can
for
look
that
at
one.
that. Yeah, we could take a look at that. But
never mind. I thought this was the oldest film. I think it is the oldest film.
It probably is.
But Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
That was like, I want to say a 69 or 70 or something. Maybe 68. This was, I think, the oldest one so far that we've watched. And I have a lot of theories about this. And
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang was the 1968 film. So, yeah, this is still the oldest by 12 years. Yeah. First black and white film noir film.
Yes.
Not really film noir, though. It says it's in the film noir category.
It does?
On IMDb. It says crime and film noir, which is of the loosest the loosest terminology.
Yeah, you could.
You could possibly.
I'm going to tell you, it's not.
Yeah,
I'm whispering
it's really not
to our listeners.
But what did you think of it?
I was sadly disappointed. No, I'm kidding. I thought it was fun. It was a nice little cute movie.
Yeah.
I kind of liked. It's sad, but I kind of liked the bad guy who was running he's running this car ring.
So basically, if you haven't seen the movie, which if you haven't seen it, that's no shock.
And
this
spoiler alerts.
Yeah, spoiler alerts ahead, of course. This is a very unknown movie.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah.
To the point where like it's hard to find info on it.
We just
basically, it's a guy. His kid is sick, and so he gets a job selling cars. Well, he was a car salesman before, and then he gets fired. His kid is sick, so he needs another job, and he starts selling cars for this other guy. Lo and behold, the cars are stolen.
Yes.
Which the 50s term was that they're hot cars because they're stolen. So basically, it's kind of a prehistoric Gone in 60 Seconds. A little bit. Because they have a chop shop, and they make the hot cars cold, they say.
Yeah.
And they fix them up and sell them.
That's my... What I was joking about a conspiracy theory, but
that
is my theory.
Conspiracy theory.
That is my theory that this is the precursor to Gone in 60 Seconds.
Well, as we talked about last episode, the director of Gone in 60 Seconds was off his flippin' rocker. So the idea that he took things from a previous movie, a 20-year-old movie, would not surprise me in the slightest.
Right. Yeah.
But yes, so you enjoyed it.
I actually enjoyed it. I actually thought it was fun. It was fun to watch. Very, very stereotypical 50s movie. And yeah, I enjoyed it. It's obviously not. If it came on TV, I wouldn't even watch it. But
Yeah.
okay, so that's spoiler.
Well, plus
to the
you'd
end,
have to be watching what, Me TV or whatever, the not the Me Too network. That's a different network these days.
And I'm laughing at that. It's the Me Network, which is
Me TV, right?
Yeah, Me TV, which is
it's all like the Dick Van Dyke Show,
something like medieval entertainment or something.
I remember your mom used to watch it. Like I think she was their only watcher.
I think she's supported the entire
financially
industry.
kept Me TV afloat.
Right, exactly.
But it's all like MASH and the Dick Van Dyke Show and
Beverly Hillbillies, which I'm going to come back to in a minute.
Okay.
I'm going to circle around. It's going to be interesting. You're going to see me come
or
around.
we'll completely forget over the course of this hour. One of the two will happen.
So yeah. But you're right. Me TV is like old TV shows.
Yeah,
like
I just
Beverly
remember
Hillbillies, Bewitched.
Yeah.
Dick Van Dyke Show, blah, blah, blah.
Anytime we went over to your parents' house,
it
was always on, and I just remember it was hot and sticky in their house.
Always
and
hot,
their front room was painted Pepto-Bismol pink. And there was pictures, on the walls and stuff, but the newest picture, I think, was from 1991. Even up until the last time I was over there, which was probably like 2015.
Yeah, probably.
So just fun memories with Me TV. But anyway, does Me TV still exist?
I don't know. I don't watch TV
It's
anymore.
basically all like 50s, 60s, maybe 70s is like new age for that for that channel.
Good times.
Yeah, it's literally
filmed before a live studio audience.
Yeah, it's like pre-baby boomer TV.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Barney Miller, all that stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Anyway,
I like the movie
Taxi. I'm just gonna name randomly. I'm just gonna name
keep whispering into the viewers' ears like different 1950s
all of the
60s. I really only know like the
70s,
Dick Van Dyke
80s,
Show, Twilight
70s.
Zone.
Twilight Zone. That's a classic. That's awesome.
Classic and fantastic storytelling, but the Twilight Zone is a little too out there for Me TV.
Yep. I think so. Yeah.
I like this movie.
Laverne
I liked
Shirley.
Hot Cars. When I looked into it, I had like more respect for it because I think it was IMDb. Somewhere said that this was like the hot like drive-in movie theater movie. And I'm like, that makes a lot more sense because it only has 60 minutes of runtime.
True.
So it's a shorter movie.
Yes.
It's not that complicated. You get your milkshake,
It's not complicated.
No, it's not complicated. You pull up to the drive-in movie, you get your milkshake, you get your hot dog for 50 cents, and you just watch a movie for an hour, and then you go.
Yeah.
I don't know what people did in the 50s. Go
nothing.
to Makeout Point or something.
Probably.
Because every town had one or something.
Yeah, and exactly. And for actually an hour, that was probably a good pace for a drive-in movie theater to get people in and out between movies, blah blah blah, all that stuff. So yeah,
because you have to remember they had to tack on pulling in, finding your spot, getting food. I mean, it ended up being a 2-hour ordeal anyway.
Sure. Yeah.
And so if the movie was 2 hours, then you're talking about like a 3-4 hour commitment.
Yeah.
So like drive-in movies tended to be a little bit shorter just because of the logistics of it.
By the way, weren't you talking about the fact that drive-in movie theaters are coming back, or they might be?
They made a short comeback.
I think I wish they would. That'd be cool.
I do and I don't. I
really?
actually, funny enough, I've only ever seen The Incredibles 2 at a drive-in movie theater.
What?
Yeah, Bella and I took her car to the drive-in movie theater.
Yeah.
Very uncomfortable car, by the way.
I was gonna say, doesn't it have like a Astro van or
no,
something?
No. It's a little
Ford
car.
Windstar?
It's a little car, and we tried to lean the back seats forward to create a backrest. But
okay.
I mean, it's like the Pacifica that we have.
Okay.
And so the back of it is like this hard, almost felt stuff, if you will.
Yeah.
So we just kept sliding down, and then her car has this light in the back, like because the hatch was open.
Oh.
And there's a light that couldn't be turned off. I looked at the service manuals. I looked at everything.
Seriously,
this
you
light
couldn't turn
wouldn't
it off?
go off. Yeah, it was an LED light.
Oh.
So we just shoved like part of our blanket over. It was
Oh, yeah.
very uncomfortable, very impractical.
Yeah. Okay.
There was bugs. There was rednecks hooting and hollering from a pickup truck down the road. Like
It's all part of the fun.
Yeah,
It's
but it's also
exciting.
like kind of a pain.
It is.
So drive-in movie theaters came back a little bit because of COVID, because you're in your own safe bubble,
Right.
and actually, drive-in concerts became a thing.
Really?
And drive-in stand-up comedy became a thing. The comedian Bert Kreischer, he takes his shirt off all the
Really?
time.
Oh yeah. Okay.
He
so-
kind of almost pioneered drive-in comedy stand-up shows.
Yeah.
Which were a thing for a little bit of time.
Why does he take his shirt off? By the way.
That's just like his thing. It's
Okay.
just he's a very interesting guy. I
Not
listen to
to get sidetracked.
No, I know, but like he did it
Yeah.
once and then it just makes him feel comfortable.
Wow. Okay, that totally
and-
would be the opposite of me.
Yeah, and he's on a podcast with my favorite comedian Tom Segura.
Yeah.
Two Bears One Cave, fantastic
Okay.
podcast. He talks about
All
a
right.
lot in there.
Cool.
Anyway,
So they made somewhat of a little comeback.
they
moved
did a little
drive-in
bit for
theaters a little
COVID,
bit, yeah.
which is interesting because there's one around us that actually closed down. And
Yeah, the one
instead
up
of
the way, yeah.
reopening it, they opened just like a pop-up one elsewhere. What people are actually doing is stacking shipping containers and projecting the movie onto shipping containers.
Really?
Yeah. So it
Okay,
was off
well.
of one of the major highways around here. I saw these stacked up shipping containers. I was like, what the heck is that? Like, oh, that's just like a improv, or not improv.
Improvised.
Yeah,
sure.
improvised drive-in
uh,
movie theater, which
wow.
was interesting.
I mean,
So-
they don't like drive into the shipping containers, do they? That's
no.
just a screen.
So they built up the shipping containers, and that was the screen.
All right, I'm a moron.
Yeah.
I am an absolute
Well, that's
moron for
fine.
thinking the cars drive into the shipping
Yeah,
containers.
you are pretty dumb for
I
that.
am.
But anyway, one more thing about drive-in movie theaters
Yeah.
before we get we're 10 minutes in, still just talking about drive-in movie theaters.
That's fine.
The cup holders in my RX-7
yeah.
are for a drive-in movie theater.
No.
Yes,
In the
because
RX-7?
because my glove box is up
Yeah.
on the dash, right? No
Yeah.
airbags,
Right.
and the door comes down on the glove box,
Yes.
and there's two little indents like an airplane cup
yes.
holder.
Right.
That's for the drive, because I always thought that was so stupid. I was like, why did they have these two little
Right.
indents? If you move it more than 5 miles an hour, anything is going to fall out of that.
Right.
And I was corrected in the RX-7 pages that it was for drive-in movie theaters. So you'd
Okay.
sit in your car and you could fold out the glove box and you'd have two little cup holders, or
Okay.
areas for your cup at least,
All right.
or milkshake or whatever it is. So.
Cup areas.
Yeah. So this was
Okay.
a drive-in movie.
Yeah.
Which is pretty interesting and something kind of yesteryear, which makes sense
Yeah.
why it's only 60 minutes.
Yeah.
Although it is hot cars, not a lot of focus on the cars themselves.
No. No.
So we can get into my notes and your notes.
let's-
If you want to get in, you're holding your notes real close to your face.
Well, because I can't read them. It's kind of dark in our
But-
studio.
yeah, it is.
with our new-
Our studio's always dark. We have $151 million now. Why are
We're not. Yeah.
well, actually, that was a different podcast. If you didn't know, Spotify paid us $151 million
Yes.
to move to their platform.
Yeah.
Similar to the Joe Rogan show.
Well, a little bit more. They paid us a little bit more than Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan got 150.
topped
We got
him.
151.
We topped him. We topped him.
We have flying
So they
Teslas
do.
now. But I actually in our infinite money, you know what I started doing now?
What? Oh, what's that?
Printed out my notes.
You went old school.
I did go old school, but we
Yeah.
have some games to play this
Okay, good.
episode. So let's get
All
to
right,
your
so-
notes first.
All right, I'm actually gonna. I wonder if I can get by the light.
Okay, he's
All right.
moving. He's
I'm-
on the move.
I'm on the move.
God, your
Hopefully
eyes
I
are
won't-
really that bad, huh?
Yeah, my eyes are really bad.
That's-
Well, this is really hard to read.
Depressing. He's going in
Mhm.
home soon.
You said that in the last podcast. In the
The next
Smokey
episode.
and
The
the-
next
or the-
episode, we're gonna be podcasting, and you're gonna hear a nice, sweet lady come up and be like, "More gravy? Would you like more gravy?" There you go.
Jello. Okay, so I'm actually looking at the movie poster.
Oh, okay.
So
It
this
is
is
in
that-
very
it's
tiny font,
really
so
tiny.
you get a pass for
Thank
your
you.
bad
Jeez,
eyes.
holy cow! Jeez.
Yeah.
All right.
It's the only pass
So-
you're getting.
Well, okay, fine. So then on the movie poster, of course, it has the hot chick,
Right.
Joey Lansing, which we'll talk more about her.
Which she
because
might be. She's showing some shoulder.
Yeah,
which
that's
was
pretty
big
much
for
it.
the 50s.
Shoulder
A
and
little bit of shoulder.
yeah, and that's pretty much it. So it says, hot cars. No, hot cars. And it says, hot, a stop-at-nothing blonde. Hot, a buck-hungry guy. Hot, can't read what that says. Hot cars and something else. In fact, if you go on IMDb, you can actually see the movie poster. It's pretty cool.
Which is interesting because the movie poster is horizontal. It's landscape.
Yes, it is. It's actually
which
landscape.
is contrary to modern ones.
Yes.
When we started getting like VHS covers.
Uh-huh.
And VHS covers moved to DVD covers. And
right.
Stuff became more vertical. Wow, you have a lot of notes.
I have a lot of notes.
And you're dropping them all over
the
place.
So, okay.
You just heard a grunt. He was picking it up off the ground.
All right.
So, next movie poster.
Next movie poster is a stop-at-nothing blonde, a buck-hungry guy, a red-hot racket.
Oh, that's what you couldn't read before.
I couldn't read it before. Slam the screen head-on in hot cars.
That is more. That is more action-packed.
Where there's a stop-at-nothing blonde, a buck-hungry guy, a red-hot racket. Slam the screen head-on.
Okay. That's more exciting than 99% of this movie. Besides the ending chase, I'm like, that really oversold it.
Okay, so that really is. That's why I wanted to bring these down, because this movie poster is exactly like a very typical 50s where they totally oversell
it, yeah. And it has that 50s art style where like they couldn't just take screenshots from the movie. They had someone like paint it.
Yeah, it was. It
was actually like a
drawn, painted, whatever.
I forget the term of that, but yeah.
And of course they used the woman, Joey Lansing, and they used the guy I want to call
Joey or Joy? It's
Joy.
Okay.
J-O-I,
right?
J-O-I. Actually,
Joy,
we'll talk a little bit more about her because she's more interesting.
Okay.
So, anyway.
Pause for death.
Pause for
death.
I guess I'm getting used to getting into the home.
Yeah, I know.
That you're going to be putting me in.
Yeah. Get ready for everything to be tan.
Beige.
Everything's
beige.
The color of the hearing aid. They just color matched everything.
What
are your other notes? I see you got a whole typed out page there.
I have some notes. Okay, so do you want to talk about Joy? Yeah, Joy Lansing.
Sure.
All right. So if you go on Amazon Prime, which is what
shout out to Amazon
Prime.
They got my tires here 5 days before they were supposed to be.
Yeah, they got my wheelbarrow here like a day before it was supposed to be
When
here.
did you buy a wheelbarrow?
Whatever.
You get 151 mil and you start buying wheelbarrows? The heck is wrong with you?
It's a gold-plated.
Ah, okay, yeah.
wheelbarrow.
It's one of those barrels where it'll sync up your playlists and it'll tweet when you're carrying something heavy.
It does.
Yeah. Okay, that makes more sense.
And it reminds me of how many steps. It's got like a step
right,
counter on
we're
it.
multi-millionaires
pretty good.
now.
Well, yeah, that's what you do.
It posts on Facebook for you.
What you do.
Yeah.
Well, after taxes, we have about $58.33.
Oh.
So, yeah, that's really about
not wrong.
No, so very, very close there. So basically, Joy Lansing, you can get this information from Amazon Prime, and you can look at the cast, and it has some interesting stuff. So I actually thought she was probably one of the most interesting people in this whole movie.
Yeah. She's kind of, I don't want to say a pawn.
She is. I mean, she's a...
Yeah, she is a pawn. I'll say it. I'll say it right to her.
Well, what's funny is that they actually mentioned this. Yes, exactly. So, first of all, she was born in 1929.
Wow.
So she was 3 years old when
she crashed the stock market.
She did. Absolutely.
She crashed the stock market.
She is solely responsible for the crashing of the stock market. She was 3 years old when our Model A rolled off the assembly line. 3 years old.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy. All right. So anyway, Joy Lansing, J-O-I, Lansing, was born Joyce Renee Brown.
Kind of interesting.
A boring name, so she changed it up to Joy Lansing, which is kind of cool.
Also, side note.
Did
you know Vin Diesel's real name is Mark?
What? What?
I saw a TikTok today that Vin Diesel's real first name was Mark.
Vincent? It's not Vincent?
No. Well, this TikTok could be lying, but I had a real good laugh.
Okay.
Mark. Yeah. So go on.
Last name Wahlberg, by the way, which was just a crazy coincidence. And he changed it because he thought that name will never go anywhere.
That'll never stick.
Right. Who's going to remember Mark Wahlberg?
Yeah.
So anyway.
Hey, Charger, how you doing? Hey, Mazda RX-7, how you doing? Say hi to your mother for me. Yeah. Yeah, that wouldn't
so
work.
it wouldn't work. I mean, I can't hear Vin Diesel say that either.
Yeah.
I'm Groot.
Family.
I live my life 1/4 mile at a time.
Yeah, groceries. I don't know why that came to mind.
Groceries.
Anyway,
Okay.
go on about this lady.
So she
Rest in peace.
So anyway, she actually, it says right here, I'm not making this up, that she was a young lady who developed early physically as a teen. So because of her striking good looks, she began modeling and was extremely successful throughout the 40s. And let's see, it was not only her natural physical assets eventually landed her on the silver screen. So
who wrote this?
I don't know. Karen Winter wrote this.
A woman wrote that?
Yeah.
Oddly creepy, but go on.
Yeah. So, but what I find interesting here is that she went on to do some films in 1948, and she starred as what else? A model in the movie The Counterfeiters, 1948.
Another crime movie.
Yep.
Interesting.
Julia
okay.
Misbehaves, in 1948. The Easter Parade, 1948. And she was 20 years old. Her acting wasn't great, but basically it says she was hired because of her looks and her body. Period. So,
Okay.
all right. So now,
Glad to see nothing's changed in Hollywood.
yeah, nothing, not at all.
Still terrible,
It's
still creepy.
exactly the same.
Moving on.
Yeah, the following, she got some parts in movies, but they were mostly unnamed. Like her characters didn't even have names.
Which honestly couldn't tell you many names from this movie.
No, but they were like John and Joe and
Yeah,
Bob
it's
and,
all
it's all
white guy names.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Mark, Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel. So anyway, she concentrated on her modeling career for a while in 1950s, and then she hit the big screen in 1951. She played minor roles. She played Susan Matthews in The FBI Girl and Marilyn Turner on the Riviera. So she got some names she got names for her characters. So she was moving up.
Wow, yeah,
to
that's big props to actually be named.
Unnamed Girl 3.
Yeah, uncredited
Right.
girl, yeah.
So that was pretty good. And then she went back to being, and it says right here, then it was back to being a showpiece.
Wow.
That's what it says right here. So in 1952, her uncredited role in one of the most... Oh, so here it is. This is very interesting. One of her uncredited roles was in the most popular movie of all time, one of the most popular movies of all time, Singing in the Rain.
Oh, wow, okay.
She was in Singing in the Rain.
I mean, I haven't seen it, but I've definitely heard of it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's super...
Singing in the Rain.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If I close my eyes, I would think that I was watching
Wow,
it.
thank you. Yeah. If you put that up to your iPhone and ask what song this is, you'll get that.
Yeah, exactly.
Which also, it's raining right now, so
It is.
we're podcasting in the rain.
Podcast. And it's and it's not I don't hear anything. Okay.
Oh yeah, I don't anymore.
So basically then she got another minor role as the Maxim girl in The Merry Widow. And then she did television for a while. And here is the funny thing. She was in some episodes of Adventures of the Wild Bill Hickok and one of the I Love Lucy
Oh
shows.
wow, okay. So she got
Yeah.
some good work.
Then she landed the recurring role of Shirley Swanson in the series The Bob Cummings Show,
Okay.
which actually was very popular in the 1950s.
Very 50s. She just named the show the guy's name.
Yep, exactly.
Dick Van Dyke Show. Shout out.
Yeah, exactly. Where she proved that she could indeed act. And then she began a few substantial parts in movies like The Brave Ones, Hot Cars, 1956, and So You Think the Grass is Greener, blah, blah, blah. The balance of the 1950s, she continued to be a B-movie star with less quality roles. But after appearing in the film Who Was That Lady in 1960, she landed the role of Goldie in the television series Klondike. However, most viewers remember her as, and here we're getting back, we're doing the full circle.
Oh God.
They remember her as the wife of Lester Flatt on the situation comedy The Beverly Hillbillies.
Oh, okay.
So she was actually on The Beverly Hillbillies, which appeared
Interesting.
on and off from 1965 to 68 as Gladys. It says Gladys. Gladys Flatt. That's her name, Gladys Flatt, F-L-A-T-T.
Oh, so she has a name in that
She
role.
does.
That's good.
Her beauty even surpassed that of Ellie Mae Clampett, played by Donna Douglas. Her film career was winding down. and she appeared in the Boots Malone, and I think I've actually seen this movie, Hillbillies in a Haunted House. I think I've actually seen that.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, it was. Riff Tracks did.
Okay, yeah.
So
shout out Riff Tracks.
Shout out Riff Track. Love Riff Tracks.
Yeah.
I personally. So, which it says here, which went nowhere for the 67 movies.
Depressing.
Unfortunately, so this is actually very, very sad. This part's very sad. She was diagnosed with breast cancer, and she died at age of 43. So she was very young.
She died in the 70s.
Yeah, in 1972 in Santa Monica, California. So very sad.
Very sad. But that's interesting, yeah.
But so she was, she was kind of a bit player in the 50s and 60s on these different shows and some movies and things like that. But what's funny is that when you watch this movie, when she comes on, and totally, they did that for eye candy. That there's no real reason for her to really be in this movie.
Not really, no.
Kind of, but not. And if you watch the movie, and it says this, she's this, what was it? A stop at nothing blonde. I don't know. I think she would stop at a lot of things. She didn't really
seem that persistent. She was like, I'd like to test drive this car.
Right.
And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And and of course, like the dialogue was, not that
subpar.
But when she comes on to the screen, when you see her the first time, whenever you see her, very typical 50s and 60s, it's always the swanky saxophone music that starts playing. Wah, 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 wah. And you see this really stereotypified in the Goldfinger.
Yes.
If you ever watched Goldfinger.
Which was what, 60?
It was like
61?
I think it was like 69. I think it was like
Goldfinger. I was thinking Dr. No. Okay.
Maybe 68. Anyway, in that movie, in Goldfinger, anytime there's like beautiful women, it's like, wow, 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 wow. It's a saxophone.
Yeah,
player.
no, I know what you mean.
And so when she comes on, that's what you hear.
Yeah.
That's the kind of music that's playing. And I kind of laughed to myself when I saw that. I was like, oh my gosh. I'm like, that's just crazy. And they have her, and she must have only been like 23. No, I think she was 27 when this film was made. So 27. But
something like that.
Her acting is kind of over the top, kind of a Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah,
kind
type.
of.
Yeah.
Kind of. Hi.
Yeah.
It's a really kind of a.
The more you mention it, the more she really did not have a place in this movie.
No, she really didn't. But
besides, there was like sort of that affair, kind of.
Yeah, that was
Which,
weird.
like, also,
did you notice that?
Yeah, and the guy's wife was like, "Oh, it's fine."
Well, 1950s.
Yeah, she was like,
okay.
"Oh, well, I guess I can't be a perfect wife all the
Right.
time." It's like, have some dignity, woman. I mean, geez.
No kidding. Well, and that was what kind of threw me off in this whole thing. Is I was like, wait a minute. He spent the night with her.
Yeah, and
for a 1950s movie.
And she's just cool with it.
Yeah, that was weird.
Very weird.
And now,
which I have some notes about that. But yeah,
okay,
go on.
so now listeners are like, "Oh, I gotta watch this."
Yeah,
film now.
yeah,
it's like really bizarre,
and it's on Amazon Prime. Like I said, it's not going anywhere
Nope.
because this is not a popular movie, so they're not gonna like lose the licensing
Nope.
for it.
Exactly.
I
mean,
doubt
it's really, it's really something where it's just, and it's only an hour. It's so quick.
It's literally 60 minutes.
Yeah.
So if you just skip the titles, you're down to already like 54 minutes.
Right. Yeah, you barely have.
But what notes do you have there with the pictures?
So the notes I have are some of the cars. I
Okay.
mean, some of the. We talked about this last time. You were talking about seeing some of the cars and seeing them like new.
Right. Which
and
is
they were
cool
very
because
fun.
it's 1956.
Yes.
50s cars today are few and far between.
Yep.
So it was fun to see them all, brand new, shiny, fresh coat of paint.
Yeah, and I was just gonna read through some of them.
Okay.
I thought because of I just thought it'd be kind of fun. So there's like the 1955 Buick Special.
Yeah.
The 1954 Cadillac Series 62 Convertible.
Okay.
Why they called it the Series 62, I don't know.
I recently drove a Series 353 limousine.
Did you really?
Cadillac, yeah, 1930.
Wow.
Yeah.
1956 Cadillac Series 62. That's another one. It's also convertible.
What I have written down, because I have a couple
56
cars
Chevy
written
Bel Air.
down
Yeah,
too.
go ahead.
The biggest one's 1955 Mercedes-Benz 190 SL.
Ooh, yeah,
very
that's a good
opening
one.
car, very good looking car. And I think our only trivia fact is about that car. But in
There's a Jaguar. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Jaguars are great. 1956 Chrysler Windsor.
Yep.
And then 1951 Pontiac Chieftain Deluxe.
Yeah, that's the one I'm looking at. Yeah. That's really hilarious.
I'd like to run through my notes.
Yeah,
or do you have notes at the bottom of that?
The only thing I have here
is the conspiracy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you want to save it, we can talk about
Let's get into it. What's your conspiracy?
So here, it's not a conspiracy, but it's just kind of a fun Lincoln. So here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Gone in 60 Seconds. We were just talking about that. That this movie, in this movie, they do talk about a chop shop, right?
Right.
Where they make the hot cars cool.
Yeah.
Right. So they go into this chop shop and they walk up to this guy.
Yeah.
All right. And this guy is this old grizzled, worn guy who knows everything about cars.
Also gets promoted on the spot, by the way.
He does.
If you know, the guy's like, "Oh yeah, by the way, you're the manager now," and he's like, "Thanks, boss."
Yeah.
Or whatever.
It was kind of
yeah.
Thanks, boss. Yeah. So he was kind of that kind of character. So he comes in and he goes, and the bad guy goes, "Yeah, this guy knows the way around the shop. He's the boss around here,
right?
And he knows what he's doing. He's a perfectionist." And he walks up to a guy who's grinding the serial number off the motor.
Oh
right?
God, yeah.
And they're like, "Okay, we repaint the cars and we put in." He's talking about they put in like new upholstery and all this stuff.
Who cares?
Exactly.
Who cares? Like the new okay,
new engines, new upholstery, new paint.
Maybe a paint job.
Yeah.
And I get grinding down the serial numbers, but the profit margins here are no way covering all new upholstery, all new paint, new motors.
And they were giving people new car guarantees.
Yeah. And also
it was great. Well, I was like, I want to shop there. I want to shop at this hot car shop.
Well, you should
Can I do that?
You should go to Gerald Kia in Naperville. They have a unlimited lifetime warranty on their vehicles.
Hey, shout out, yeah. Hey, good.
When they walk in, he said that they take the hot cars, they disassemble them, and reassemble them. And I'm like, why? What is like?
Do you guys not understand profit margins?
Yeah, there's no way you're making that much money on these. Well, okay, I guess they are stolen.
Yeah.
So they're making the entire market value on them.
Yeah.
But like, if you're really in it for the money, why are you reupholstering a car? No cop is going to be like, wait, the color of the car doesn't match, but this one has tan seats. It must be our car.
Exactly, and that was the thing, was they were making them so nice, and they were doing such a nice job. It was the writer going, how could we make this seem like they have, they're doing a really slick job. And I don't know anything about engines, so they're going to.
Yes, we got to make it sound like, it's this whole process to seem legit. But it's like, honestly, even today, if you were to sell a stolen car, you'd have to swap the VINs, maybe a coat of paint.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, there's so many cars these days that.
Change out the plates, maybe the VIN.
You're fine.
So here's my other thing.
Okay.
Before I get too far into this, so this guy who runs the shop, older guy, right? Gone in 60 Seconds. Older guy, played by Robert Duvall, runs the shop, does exactly the same thing. Robert Duvall's character is named Otto Halliwell.
Okay.
The guy in this movie is named Otto. Coincidence?
Really?
I think not. I think not.
That's
both Ottos running the shop. I don't think there's any. That's case closed, Your Honor. Case closed.
Or poor writing. Hey, this guy works in an auto shop.
His name
what do we name him? Otto. Okay.
Otto, the auto guy.
Next character.
Hey.
Unnamed girl.
No.
Next character.
Open and shut case.
Yeah.
They stole it. It was gone.
Honestly,
in 60 seconds.
I wouldn't be shocked. However.
Yeah.
However, you are talking about the 2000 movie.
I am.
Which there was a Gone in 60 Seconds before that didn't have
true.
a chop shop with the guy named Otto.
Maybe. Do you
so
know if
what's
any of those
more likely, the fact that a 2000 movie ripped off a 56 movie?
Yeah,
or
I see it.
Okay.
It's, the cards are there. You lay out those whatever. The writing's on the wall. It's an absolute. There's hands down. Why would you
I
name
think there's
two
some
characters?
wiggle room in your theory, but I'll go with it.
Okay, so and maybe that's my only piece of evidence for the
Well,
entire thing.
Honestly, your Talladega Nights evidence for Rush was
That
more
extreme.
impressive. That
that
was
was extreme. Yeah, that's
This is
exactly.
just a fan theory.
That's
But
true. This right, true.
I
Okay.
do have some notes
So,
written down.
yeah, let's hear your notes. What you got?
So I wrote these down while watching the movie.
Okay.
First of all, I thought it was funny that it opened up. This is a Bel Air production.
Yes.
The production
Yes.
company was Bel Air,
Bel Air.
which is a very famous
Fresh Prince.
50s car.
Oh, I'm sorry, Fresh Prince Bel Air.
Very different ideas
Wow,
between
okay,
the
yeah.
two of us.
No, Bel Air being the car.
But the more I thought about it, the Bel Air didn't really get popular till 57. So less of a after this movie,
Well,
technically.
that's odd.
The 57 Chevy, the Bel Air, is like
Yeah.
the iconic 50s car, which I drove. And shout out.
Yeah,
And
shout out to the car.
But Bel Air was a car. I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
The next, this was just an open-ended question.
Yeah.
Was every child sick in the 1950s?
Yes. Every child. Every child had some disease.
The boy is sick, which they never gave a diagnosis. If you ever listen, because
that's like lazy writing. But go ahead. Go ahead.
There's a really funny bit in the Broadway show Oh Hello, which is Nick Kroll and John Mulaney.
Oh yeah.
And they do they joke about how to show that a character's sick on stage, and they cough into a handkerchief and then show the audience that there's blood in the handkerchief. Very much like that. I got that much vibe from this movie. They never give a diagnosis.
Yes.
And the guy who the criminal
Yeah.
knows that his son's in the hospital.
Yes.
And remember, they said they diagnosed him and then they cut it off.
Yeah. Yeah.
The other guy cuts
Right.
it off, so we never hear what he's diagnosed with.
So you never hear that, which is like convenient writing. It's
Right,
like
yeah,
I don't want to
We don't wanna-
research what disease this
Right,
kid has.
yeah.
And
Probably polio.
and a very, very good, actually a very smart move. Never should show the baby. It's always off screen crying. The baby is off screen crying because babies were very hard to work with.
Babies are
in movies.
expensive.
They are expensive. Let me tell you.
Yeah. Wow.
No,
Sending you to a home.
Yeah. I need to go.
Immediately,
I need to go.
yeah.
Come on.
This
Good.
actually, we're just gonna live podcast
Looking
in the
forward
car.
to the Jello.
Drive,
Looking forward to the Jello.
dropping you off at
All right, fine.
what Park Avenue.
Do it. Whatever. Come on. I dare you.
Oh,
Yeah.
Here's something for your theory that I wrote down.
Okay.
He said that the cars are all covered by insurance.
Yes.
So
Yes.
then it's a no-loss
Another-
thing because they
yes.
just get a new car.
Yeah.
You sell the current car, which is the whole plot of Gone in 60 Seconds.
Yeah.
And in Gone in 60 Seconds, the 1970s one,
Mhm.
remember he doesn't steal Eleanor because it's not insured.
Right. Exactly. Yes.
So
that is
that
good.
helps
See,
your plot.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. That's another.
Cars
that's
are all
another
covered by
nail in
insurance.
the coffin. Yeah.
Yes.
Cars are covered by insurance. Yep.
The guy gets shot allegedly or whatever, and the police come to our main character. Some guy gets shot and killed?
Yeah, actually, it was Davenport, who I actually had to look back at this to figure out who Davenport was because I could never remember the name.
But this is just like, if you haven't seen the movie, this is just the writing in the movie.
Yeah. What?
The cop said, "Shot. He's very dead." He said he's very dead.
Well, the one
which is just like such. Come on, what cop would say that about someone that was just murdered?
Right. Well, and it's a cop. You know.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, they wouldn't be too glib about that. But
yeah, he's very dead.
He's very dead.
Yeah.
He's not only dead, he's very dead.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, and I thought that was like, wait a minute, a cop gets killed? This is now like a huge investigation where they're going to swarm
and then they swept it under the rug. It was just like the next scene, they were stealing cars again. Like,
yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was,
which also, like, all these cars came in on trailers.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were just
right,
like,
yeah. It wasn't like.
They would just do it at night, like out in front of the building. It's like no one saw this, like, and they're like, "Oh, we don't greet customers at night." It's like,
well, but he turns the lights off, but it's all lit up.
Yeah,
it's still
like,
lit up.
Yeah.
It's like in the middle of the day, and he turns the lights off because the truck's coming through.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, a little
boom,
bit of
boom,
snare
boom.
drum in there.
Yeah. Okay, we gotta pull the cars in.
The punching in this movie is terrible. The final scene where they're at the amusement park and he punches him in the driver's seat.
I wanted to tell you that, but go ahead. Yeah,
it's so bad.
It is bad.
It's
it is some of the worst.
Also, he's holding a gun to him. This is I believe it's the owner, right?
I don't think
the
anyone.
criminal?
I don't think anyone went to screen combat classes.
Well, so the criminal is holding up our main character in the car, and he has a gun pointed at him. Thank you. Set the scene. They're at an amusement park for some reason.
Yes.
And he's holding a gun to him.
It's like Jack's by the Sea or something.
And the main character goes to honk the horn in order to get the police's attention, right?
Yeah.
The guy with the gun punches him.
Yeah.
You have a gun. Like
he could have stuck it farther into his wrist or something.
I'm not saying shoot the guy, but
and also I'm sure you appreciated this, the weird camera angles inside the car at the end of the movie.
Well, so you could only see the sky, so you couldn't tell that they weren't moving.
Right.
Yeah, it was. They literally put the camera on the floor and shook the car a little bit.
But it was like crotch cam because you were down looking up at the actors and a weird angle.
But again, because you can't tell if the sky's not moving.
Right.
But also, then they had a back seat shot looking out the front window while they're fighting.
Yes.
And it looks like they actually were driving and fighting. That did not look like rear projection.
No, I think they actually were. And I was like, I actually went, gasped because I'm like, they're going to wreck a nice car. They're actually going to wreck a real car.
Yeah, and also I doubt there was a stunt team. I doubt there was any form of coordinator. You know what I mean? There wasn't a supervisor that was like, hey, we shouldn't do this. It's like, hey, it's a 1950s, see? Drive the car in the circle, see? Then we'll smoke us all a cigarette. Lucky cigarettes.
Oh, my gosh. Well, of course, everyone smoked.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody,
all the 50s cars I drive, they have more ashtrays than cup holders.
Yes. But so, yes, all that is interesting.
I said this movie reminds me of the film Rear Window, which is a 1954 Hitchcock film.
Why do you say that?
Because nothing happens for a majority of the film, and then there's like a big reveal at the end. Which actually, honestly, if you want to get into 50s films, 1954's The Rear Window by Alfred Hitchcock I actually really enjoyed that movie. It's a really good movie.
I actually saw it at the theater.
Very interesting premise. A photographer breaks both of his legs, so he's ridden. He can't leave his apartment.
He's bedridden.
He's bedridden.
Yeah.
Well, he's in a wheelchair, but
wheelchair-ridden. Yeah.
Wheelchair-ridden, and his apartment. There's a big commune of apartments all around him. So he spends his days just staring into other people's apartments.
Yeah.
And he starts to notice that this one guy's wife is missing, and then he's carrying out these trash bags, and then her clothes are gone, and he thinks that he murders her, and then in the end you find out I think he did.
And I think the actor's Raymond Burr.
I don't know who that is. Is that everyone?
Played Ironside. Ironside. The show that.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, yeah.
Last one I had was the dummy falling off the ride.
Yes, I'm so glad you brought it up.
Funny.
I was definitely gonna. Yeah. I laughed out loud. I literally, it was truly an LOL, truly laugh out loud moment when that happened. I literally laughed and I was like, oh my gosh.
So there's a fight on the amusement. On a roller coaster, essentially.
On a roller coaster.
Which is just obscene that you would be fighting someone and then run to a roller coaster and continue the fight. Second of all, if you notice, the one guy's down on the roller coaster when it comes into the station.
Yeah.
There's a couple in the very first car that's traumatized.
Yes.
No one helps them.
No.
They just run, they just run right past them.
Hilarious.
But the dummy, yeah.
The dummy is hilarious. So at one point, they're going around the roller coaster, which, by the way, you've been on a lot of roller coasters.
A decent amount. I'm not a big fan, but go on.
But the G-forces on a roller coaster.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how you would land one punch,
But
honestly.
Also, again, this didn't look like rear projection.
No, they were on
This
a roller
looked like
coaster.
a guy that was sitting in the front of the roller coaster holding on for dear life to his, 16mm camera, whatever it was.
Yes, and
whatever they filmed with.
The actors were truly on a roller coaster trying to pretend like they were fighting, and you can see in their face that they
are not having a good time.
No, they are terrified and do not want to be on there. And trying to fake throw punches on a moving roller coaster, I have to give them some props for that because that's really, that's pretty cool that they try to do that. But they get to a point where they're at a crest of the roller coaster, and then they throw out a dummy that is
Yeah,
so
the guy-
obviously a dummy.
The guy, quote unquote, falls off the roller coaster, but it's so clearly a dummy because he doesn't move, and it's just like a lead brick.
Yeah, and his arms flail unnaturally.
Like,
it's so hilarious.
Yeah, like it's a gag now, but like back then, I'm sure on film, like when you didn't really expect it, I'm sure they're like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, and then he hits the roof. The dummy hits the roof, and it's
obvious.
It was so.
I wonder if that's one of the situations where like the HD up-resing hurts the film.
Yeah,
because I'm sure back in the day, you're dealing with the equivalent of what 360p.
I don't know
or whatever. It was lower quality.
It was
so plus,
True.
the projectors that they were showing these things at. Plus, you're in a car at a drive-in, so you're not really looking at these details.
Plus, you're eating a hot dog or a popcorn or something. You don't know what's going
you're
on.
talking to your
talking
friend
to your
or
friend.
whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was funny. That
was hilarious.
Yeah, it was very good.
If you don't, for no other reason, watch this movie.
Just skip to the end chase. It's kind of obscene.
Yeah,
cliche 50s.
Yes.
Movie. So
yeah,
I really like that. So we already touched on the cars. The 1955 Mercedes-Benz 190 SL, 1956 Chrysler
was
Windsor.
it a 190 SL?
190 SL, yeah.
Huh. Okay.
That's what Internet Movie Car Database.
All right.
said.
No, that's cool because
their word is gold.
Yep. No, I totally get that. I totally agree with you, but I just didn't know.
But in my search of cars, because like I said, there wasn't a whole lot of information to find about this car.
Yeah.
Or this movie, excuse me.
Oh, you're right.
Yep. I decided to make a game.
Oh,
we have
okay.
2 games
right.
today.
Okay, 2 games.
So
excellent. Good.
I was looking into the cars, and I was like, wow, 50s cars had some interesting names.
Right.
So I made up a list of 15 names of cars from the 50s.
Okay.
And you have to tell me which are real
Oh,
and which are fake. So I made up a couple of names as well. I'm not going to tell you how many.
All right.
But these are 15 50s car names, and you have to tell me if they're real or fake.
Okay.
Are you ready?
All right.
1 point per car that you get correct. I did not include the manufacturer in order to not give it away. So you have you could get. Are you still?
I was doing your background music for
thank
you. Our production value is really
now that we have
high.
$151 million.
Right.
We still don't have a soundboard. We just have a.
We still have our
50-year-old man just murmuring into a
yeah.
microphone.
Yep.
So, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Available 15 points.
Okay.
Some of these are fake.
Okay.
Some of these are real 50s cars.
Okay.
The first one is the Deluxe Vagabond.
Deluxe Vagabond. I'm going to say it's fake.
That is real. It was a Frazier Deluxe Vagabond.
Why would you call it a vagabond? Why would you
I don't
call
know
your
what that means.
A vagabond is basically a bum. It's a wandering bum. It's a yeah, it's like a street person. It is a homeless person.
The Deluxe Vagabond.
The Deluxe homeless
Frazier,
person.
Yeah.
That's what they called it.
Deluxe Vagabond.
Let's call her. They're sitting around in the meeting going, "Yeah, guys, let's call this vagabond. Let's call her the homeless person." That's
Next
horrible.
up,
all right.
Manhattan.
Manhattan. That's real.
Yep. Also, that is a Frazier Manhattan.
It's also a drink.
Yeah. Very true. Put a little check mark next to that. Next up, Bubble Top.
Well, that was my nickname in high school,
yes.
and for whatever reason, no, Bubble Top. I'd say that it's real.
That is fake. I made that up.
It's fake.
That is
fake.
fake.
Oh my gosh, you kept a straight face
I know.
too. You never keep a straight face.
I'm trying my best here.
Because you have that smile that I have, which is you give away.
Next up, Ambassador.
Ambassador. That's real.
Yes, that is a Nash Ambassador.
Yeah, I somehow remember that, but go ahead.
Which Nash, very interesting. I didn't realize Nash formed
Nash Rambler.
Well, yes, the Nash Rambler, but the Nash came together to form American Motor, AMC.
Oh.
Was a combination of Hudson, Nash, I think Frazier as well, like
wow.
a bunch of just American companies came together. Because then it was actually the AMC Rambler for a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. Yeah, it's cool.
Little fun fact.
Yeah.
Next up is the Millennium.
Millennium, that's real.
That is fake. I made that up.
Jeez. Okay, I totally suck at this.
Yeah.
All right, fine.
Next up, Back Burner.
Back burner.
Back Burner. What?
I can't look at you.
I know. The
back burner is real.
That is fake. I made that up.
Darn it,
See, that's what I'm saying. That's why I thought this would be fun because this is hard.
Good. All right.
Next up, Statesman Country Club.
That's real.
That is real. That is a Nash Statesman Country Club.
Statesman Country. Wow.
It's a long name.
Yeah,
it's
stupid. That's stupid. Okay.
Next up is Century.
Real.
Yeah, that's a Buick Century.
Buick Century. Yeah. What?
No, I was just thinking about the not homeless.
The vagabond.
No. The place I'm gonna send you, the old folks' home.
Yes.
Every Buick Century that I've ever reviewed has always always reminded me of just a retirement center.
Yeah.
I think that's where they got their styling from.
What,
their interior style. Yeah, Buicks.
Oldsmobile
At least
Buicks.
modern ones.
Someone coined that phrase. I think it was actually in the movie Fletch, and he calls it an Oldsmobile Buick, and I thought that was a great name.
Yeah, that's great.
It is. It's because that's what it is. It's an Oldsmobile.
Yeah.
Buick.
Shout out to Ransom Olds. He founded Oldsmobile. Actually.
Side
really?
topic.
Oldsmobile
we
was
never go on side topics. What are you doing?
Oldsmobile was the cutting edge of automotive technology for a very long time.
Was it Oldsmobile?
Oldsmobile. They pioneered the high compression V8 for NASCAR racing in the 50s. They were
kidding.
I believe the first production American car to have an airbag.
Wow.
I mean, they did a lot of stuff, and then once GM took over, they became just rebadged GM products.
Which, by the way, airbags were around for a long time, but people didn't like them. At the first, and when they first came out, people didn't like them.
Yeah.
And they said, get rid of that. And then, we're all safety conscious now. Hey, here's an airbag. Hey, that's great. It's wonderful. Yeah. So it's funny how that comes around.
Next up is the Weekender Coupe.
Weekender Coupe. That's real.
That is fake.
Okay.
I made that up.
Wow. Okay. All right. I'm going to have to think about these more. I should just like.
Well, just shoot from the hip.
All right.
Next up is the Fire Dome
Fake.
Convertible. What? Fire Dome Convertible.
Fire Dome Convertible. It's fake.
That's real.
No.
That is a DeSoto Fire Dome Convertible.
Well, you're good at making up names. You ought to name cars.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I've been in the industry for a while.
Yes.
This one is, I think it's pronounced Corella Sedan.
It's fake.
That is fake. I tried to get you with the, I don't know how to pronounce it. You got that right. So you're at 5 right now. Out of 15.
that's not good. I'm failing the class.
Crestliner.
Crestliner, that's real.
That is real. That's a Ford Crestliner.
I happen to know that one, yeah.
Next up is the Supreme 40.
That sounds real.
It is fake. I made that up.
See how I did that?
See what
I did? See what I did there?
I made it up.
I mean, it sounds okay. So I missed that one.
Yes.
Would
next
you call
up
it Supreme 40?
Supreme 40. I don't know.
Okay.
A lot of cars had just like a number after them.
Right. Okay.
Holiday 98.
Holiday 98. Help me, people out there. Help me. I can hear you. I can hear you.
Help me, Obi-Wan. You're my only hope.
I would say that's fake.
That is real. That is an Oldsmobile. Shout out.
Jeez, son of a gun.
And then last one. I don't know if you'll be able to get this.
Yeah. All right.
I have a sick child, and I don't have the skills to talk things through with my wife. Sedan.
I think that was in this movie.
That
was
this movie.
It was this movie. I think that was it. I think that's fake.
That is fake. So you got
you
got 7 out of 15.
Oh, that sucks. That's like I failed.
Well, that's just a
like
mess.
50%.
Don't worry, we have another game to play.
All right.
That just goes to show you the absurd names that you don't hear anymore. Of the 50s.
Vagabond. I can't get over Vagabond.
So I never knew what that meant. Regular Car Review is a very popular car review channel. They had a 60-something Falcon.
Yeah.
Ford Falcon.
Sure.
That they V8 swapped with a modern V8. 90s V8.
Yeah.
Quote unquote modern. And they called it the Vagabond Falcon.
That's
and
just
I never knew what it meant. Well, that's like a joke YouTube channel, so that makes sense. But the fact that let me fold back here.
It's so crazy.
Fraser, like an actual car company, called it the Vagabond is interesting.
That is interesting and bizarre at the same time.
So I just jotted down a list. This is in no way a complete list, but this is a list of car manufacturers that have been started since this movie came out. So since 1956, these are car manufacturers. So basically, these are the car manufacturers that did not exist when this movie came out.
Okay, cool.
So we'll just run through it quick. Edsel, which went defunct
Really?
4 years later.
But
it was
still.
very short-lived. Kawasaki.
Really?
That was started in the 60s.
Okay.
Lamborghini was started in the 60s.
Okay.
Tata Motors, which is a huge Indian company. They now own like Range Rover and stuff, but
they're still around?
Oh yeah, Tata is like one of the biggest car companies.
TATA?
TATA, yeah.
Bizarre.
They made their own car once and it was god awful.
Really?
But they own a lot of companies now. I know they own Range Rover. I think they own, I want to say Aston Martin.
No.
It's like an Indian company that literally started making rickshaws. And I don't mean Indian as the horrible term for Native Americans. I mean like actual in India.
Right.
Tata Motors. Acura.
Okay.
That was like late 80s. Bentley,
Mm-hmm.
DeLorean, Fisker, Genesis, Hyundai, Hummer, Infiniti, Koenigsegg, Lada, Lexus, Mini, Pagani, and Smart were all made after this movie.
Wow.
So I'd say pretty commonplace cars, except for Lada. I don't know if you know what a Lada is.
No.
Russian car, communist car that has been nearly unchanged since, I think, the 70s.
It's good car. No, yes.
Literally, they're like, it's work. I don't see problem. Like, literally.
No, I get you.
So I just thought that was
yeah.
interesting.
I do
It's
really
been
poor
so
accents.
long. So many auto manufacturers. But then,
Yeah, it's true. Very, very true.
getting
Very
on to
interesting.
our second game.
Oh, that wasn't the game?
That was not the game.
Okay.
What, did you think you were winning?
I don't know. I thought, yeah, woo, look
So-
at me. I'm actually going.
So
yeah.
looking up those manufacturers, it got me thinking.
Gotcha.
I
yeah.
have in front of me 10 different auto manufacturers.
All right.
And you're going to tell me when they were founded.
Oh, jeez.
Within plus or minus of 10 years. So
All
you
right.
get like a 20-year
Okay, fine.
thing
I'm
here,
gonna.
so.
This is gonna be a disaster.
Now,
Go ahead. Okay.
Remember,
Yeah.
some of these companies started off as manufacturers
Okay.
of other things
Yes.
and then started making cars.
Okay.
So the dates that I have written down here is the founding of the company, not necessarily when they started making cars, if that
Okay.
makes sense.
Yes.
So,
all of you at home, play along.
yeah,
This
yeah,
is a
all
fun
people,
thing for you to play along
and see how many you guys get, and if you made it this far in the video, put it in the comment section.
Yeah.
So number one is our bread and butter Mazda. When was Mazda founded? I'll give you plus or minus of 10 years. So
65.
1920.
What?
So,
Mazda?
I have a whole thing here. So Mazda
Okay.
began as Toyo Cork Kogyo Company, which was a cork making factory founded in Hiroshima, Japan.
Wow.
On the 30th of January 1920. They then moved up to making. They created something. Let me see here. Well, they actually built the 35 Type 99 rifle for the World War.
Wow.
World
okay.
War II.
Interesting.
The company formally adopted the Mazda name in 1984.
Okay.
So Toyo Kogyo was the manufacturing, which actually I just repainted those SA wheels that I have,
Yeah.
and they say Toyo Kogyo on them.
Do they really?
Yeah, which is really
Oh,
cool.
that's cool. Yeah.
But anyway,
Very
so
okay, I was way off on that one.
they started manufacturing the Mazdago. Jeez, you're really going to a home. The Mazdago Auto Rickshaw, which was essentially a motorcycle in the 1930s.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Because rickshaws were so large in Asia,
Yeah.
this was the auto rickshaw. And they didn't produce their first vehicle until 1960. So
Wait,
you're
was
right.
it? Okay.
It was like a motorcycle, essentially.
Motorcycle attached to a rickshaw?
Basically.
Or okay. All right. Well,
it
that's
was-
kind of a cool idea.
It was
I
a
like
motorcycle with basically like a two-person compartment. It's very weird.
That. Okay. All right.
But they produced their first car, the Mazda R360, in 1960,
Okay.
which we saw in person at the Peterson Auto Museum.
Did we?
Yeah,
Shout
we
out
saw
to
it on
Peterson
360.
Auto Museum. That cool
Yeah.
museum.
So you did not get that one correct.
Nah,
Next
I was
up,
way off.
BMW.
BMW. 1953.
1916.
1916.
Yeah, you're gonna want to go older on these. just a heads up here. You're gonna want to go older.
Okay. Well, thanks for that hint there. Okay.
Next up,
Mhm.
Fiat.
Fiat. 1918.
1899.
Son of a gun.
Yeah.
Gee.
Chrysler.
Chrysler was 1902.
1925.
Ah, son of a gun.
You're 0 for
I'm not even
4.
like I'm. Oh yeah.
Ford.
Ford.
Now really think about this one.
1904.
1903.
All
Look
right.
at you.
Fine, I got one.
That's
close.
1 point within 1 year too. That's good.
All right.
Bentley.
Bentley. I would say.
It's not a spelling bee. You don't have to.
Bentley. That would be 1963.
1969.
Okay.
I'll give it to you.
Thank you.
That's within the 10 years.
Thank you.
This one is interesting. Mitsubishi. I'll bet my $151 million you will not guess.
How do you get $151 million? That was to both of us.
Yeah, well, okay, $150 million, whatever it is.
That I won't get this one?
Yeah.
Would you say Mitsubishi?
Yeah.
I'm going to say 1973. What?
You're 100 years off. 1870. 1870 Mitsubishi was
Wait a
founded.
minute. There's like no cars or no, how?
They
what?
started off as a manufacturing company.
Okay, fine.
Kia.
Kia.
A little Korean cars. Kia
Yes,
Rio.
that would be 1975.
1944.
Oh my gosh!
Wow. So that's the interesting thing is that a lot of this stuff was older than what I thought.
Yep. People that are listening are going, "Man, he sucks."
I honestly
anything.
wouldn't have. I would have guessed the 40s for BMW, but it's 1916. Which I always forget that BMW started off making motorcycles. But
yeah, that's right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Tesla.
Oh, jeez. This is probably going to be like 1802 or something like that. I don't know.
Tesla Motors.
I'm going to say 1990.
2003.
Oh, well, okay. I got that
not
one.
within the 10 years.
I got that. Yeah, it's fine. Give it to me.
Last but not least, not giving it to you for sure.
Okay.
Pontiac.
I would say 1915.
You're within 1925. You're within 10
Oh,
years.
that
I'll
is
give
10
it
years.
to you.
Okay. So I got like 2.
You got 3.
I got 3. Fine, whatever.
That's 30%. That's depressing.
Wow, that is really depressing. I don't know anything about car companies.
Yeah, I just have other notes here about the founding of Mazda. Not that it really matters. Mazda comes from Ahura Mazda, which is the god of harmony, intelligence, and wisdom from the
cool.
earliest civilization in West Asia. Key members of Toyo Kigo interpreted Mazda as a symbol of the being of the East and West civilization, but also a symbol of the automotive civilization and culture. So I thought that was just interesting.
Okay.
So I have one trivia fact for this movie.
Oh, that's it?
Literally,
yeah, I know.
IMDb had 3 trivia facts, and
I had
2
more.
of which...
I had like information about Joy Lansing.
Yeah, no, you had great. Yeah,
no,
you did great. You did great. You're still going to the home, but you did great.
Don't send me to the home.
So you guys can donate to our Patreon and not send my dad to a nursing
Wait a minute,
home.
I have $151 million. Why am I going to a home?
You think I'm going to spend it on that? Are you kidding me? I'm going to buy 15 Lamborghinis to drive you to the home in.
How is that possible?
What's the line from the other guys? I own 15 Lamborghinis and a Subaru station wagon.
Something like an Outback or something like that.
So my one trivia fact for this movie is the car that is being taken for a test drive at the beginning of the film is 1955 Mercedes-Benz 190 SL Convertible. MSRP was around $4,000, which is about $36,000 in 2017's money. In excellent condition at auction in 2017, these cars can fetch well over $100,000.
Wow.
So they are very, very sought-after cars now.
So his son's, I think it's his son, his child, was having a surgery for $5,000. Remember they said that?
Oh, wow. So that
was like $50,000 maybe?
Okay, which
40,000?
lines up with,
kind of.
Well, they never say what disease he had, so I don't know what surgery or procedure I'm trying to line it up with. Like cancer here in America, that's probably a good 50 G's at least, minimum.
Maybe. Oh, yeah. Are you kidding? To do all that stuff? I mean, surgery and all that medical stuff.
Yeah. There's a really funny video online that I just saw of a guy, he's in Europe, and he's asking people what they think an ambulance ride costs here.
Yeah.
And they're like, $300? And he was like, "Pump those numbers up, buddy. It's like 2,500."
Yeah, exactly.
And they're like, "But you're calling for an emergency," and they're like, "Yep."
Yeah. It is very.
God bless
very
America.
expensive.
Bars and stars, right?
Right. Exactly.
But we're gonna start wrapping up here.
Okay. All right.
As our podcast is now officially longer than the film itself. So if you started our podcast and the movie at the same time, you have been watching the credit. Yeah. We've managed to talk about the film longer than the film at all.
We did some trivia, though.
We did do some trivia. We played some fun games that didn't really have to do with the film.
No, it's awesome.
You already said you wouldn't even sit down to watch it. You wouldn't even entertain the idea.
Honestly, if it were on and I saw it, I would go, "Hey, that's the movie I saw."
Yeah, and then click away. Yeah,
that would be about it. And then just click and go, "Yeah, Seinfeld's on or something." I don't know.
It was a fun little watch. I don't think I'd do it again. I mean, just out of.
So.
Although the cool thing is that Amazon is now recommending like 50s hot rod movies.
Yes. I saw that,
which we could get into later.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I would sit down and watch it again. I mean, it was fine.
I know, it's fine.
And if you're really looking for something, it's a 60-minute movie. You see some cool 50s cars. That's it. That's really it. There's not a whole lot of plot.
Yeah.
If you're looking for, if you want to like recreate a drive-in feel, park some Hot Wheels in front of your TV. Maybe that's a good movie for that, but other than that,
yeah, no, I agree with you.
However, that being said, I'm really glad that we did this movie.
Yes,
because
I have to definitely.
one of the most common comments that we get is people asking for us to do more obscure movies, and less mainstream movies. Although we have to hit the big names,
right.
But doing the offshoot one-off, I can almost guarantee you when I just watched this movie today, I was probably the only person in the world streaming this movie at 3:00 on a Tuesday.
Yeah, maybe. Probably.
So, also, small thing, happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday to you.
This comes out on my birthday. Today's
really?
my birthday, August 28th.
Well, happy birthday. I didn't get you anything.
Feels great.
Yeah, because you're going to put me in the home. So why would I get you a birthday present? You're going to put me in a home.
Dad,
what?
That is the birthday present. That is the best birthday present I could ever ask for.
Happy birthday to you. Dad's going to the home.
Happy birthday to me. You are going to assisted living. So you can pick between mashed potatoes or mac and cheese every night.
That sounds good.
So your dentures don't fall out.
Oh, because I have dentures.
Yeah.
I have all that. I have all my own teeth. Thank you very much.
You don't have any cavities, do you?
No. Well, okay, I do. I have a couple cavities.
I don't think I have any cavities anymore.
Yeah?
I think the ones that were filled were baby teeth, which, what a freaking scam that is.
Yeah.
The whole dentistry system here in America. I mean, they filled teeth that just fell out of my head a couple years later. Like, what the heck?
True. And for some bizarre reason, we had those teeth for a while. We still had them like in a bag. Oh, because
you were the tooth fairy.
Because we were the tooth. Well, yeah. We were the tooth fairy.
Yeah, okay, whatever.
So we used to give you like Sacagawea coins. Remember those gold coins?
Yeah, dollar coins.
Yeah, the dollar coins. Those were cool.
Yeah. And I remember one year,
it was fun.
I cut out a piece of paper to look like a tooth, and I put it under my pillow. Do you remember that?
I think I do.
It was rather convincing. I like shaded it and stuff.
It was kind of like Escape from Alcatraz, where you made like a fake tooth out of like a plaster tooth. And
little did you know, I actually made a plaster dummy head, put a fake tooth under it, and I was sitting in the corner with a sniper rifle. And I had black paint on my face, and I closed my eyes, and then I opened my eyes, and that's the only thing you could see in frame was just my white, not pupils.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing how you said that in script-like form, that you talked about that in like a movie.
Yeah.
I
was waiting in the corner, and I was like, it's been 3 days. No one's came to check up on me.
Yeah, that's the truth. We would just let you lay there.
Trees can talk, and they're speaking Vietnamese. Anyway, so that is Hot Cars. What's our next movie? You get to pick this next one.
Next movie. So it was kind of a toss-up.
Okay.
I'm going to let you pick one in the future that you like. I was going to say, in fact, today I was actually going to say Ford versus Ferrari.
Okay.
But I think you should pick that, and when you choose to pick that, because that's your choice.
Yeah. Okay.
I want to see the movie, but I don't want to see the movie.
Why?
Because I don't know. Because I was like so put off by Rush, and so many. I know. In fact, somebody even mentioned on our one of our subscribers
Yeah.
actually commented and said, "Hey, you should do Rush."
Yeah.
And I
Rush
was
has
like-
been brought up multiple times.
Yeah. And I'm like,
Yeah, I was like, you're not going to be happy with that episode.
Yeah, well, you're gonna. Well, and what my response was that it was great the fact that we could disagree.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, so
what is our movie?
Our movie is
Oh God.
Cannonball Run 2.
Okay.
Because we talked about
Yeah.
that in the podcast I was listening to today. We talked about it in what was it? It was Cannonball Run 1.
Right.
And you were talking about the fact that someday we would do Cannonball Run 2 because it was mediocre because of the movie The Good Place.
The show The Good Place, which kind of kicked off the idea of this podcast slightly.
Yeah.
So in the show The Good Place, it's basically like heaven and hell, and there's a medium place where everything is medium.
Yeah.
And the movie
medium, flat beer, basically.
Yeah,
that kind of
nothing's
stuff.
great,
Medium.
but nothing's terrible. It's basically like purgatory.
there's one person.
It's a fun spin
funny,
on purgatory.
Yeah.
And so they always make a joke in that show that the very medium movie is Cannonball Run 2 because it's not the first one, but it's it's just fun. So I've never even seen a second of Cannonball Run 2.
I think I've seen bits and pieces. I've never watched the whole thing. So
Okay.
I'm going to have to be forced to watch this entire thing.
Yeah. Which do we
both
own it yet?
We own it.
Okay.
We
cool.
own it because it was on the same DVD as Gumball Rally.
Oh wow! Yeah.
So, yeah, it was a
and
double.
then we're gonna have to find Cannonball Run 3 / Speed Zone.
Yes, that's actually on YouTube. The whole movie's on. Yes, the whole movie's on YouTube.
That's a fall from grace.
And it's literally just somebody put it up there. Yes. No, I'm not kidding. Somebody just put it up there.
That's an old YouTube move.
Yeah.
There used to be full episodes of Initial D on YouTube.
Oh, really?
Yeah. People just post them. It was like user 684 posted the entire second season of Initial D.
Yeah. No, this was the entire movie.
All right.
So,
Cannonball Run 2 is up next.
Cannonball Run 2.
Thinking of what I want to watch. Then.
That's going to be very interesting. And I mean, you'll have to think about what you want. I know, like I say, I'm going to leave Ford versus Ferrari for you for when you want to do that one. Baby Driver is another one we talked about doing. There's a lot of great ones. I still have to send you the email that Andy Likey sent me that has all the vehicles from the different Cars movies.
Oh, yeah.
And one of those, I almost pulled the trigger on this one. We'll do this eventually. Mad Max.
Ooh,
Mad Max is a really cool car movie,
and
it's the first one is weird.
Yeah, because it's not this post-apocalyptic world, right?
It is, but
it's not as heavy as like.
No, it's not.
Mad Max, what is it? Apocalypse Road or whatever, or Fury Road?
Right? Yeah. Not
is
like that.
This like.
No, it's not like that.
Steampunk, like Burning Man, clashed with Attack on Titan, like.
Yeah, it's insane. No, but the first one is like almost a realistic, futuristic movie where gasoline is very hard to come by.
Mm-hmm.
And cars and parts are very hard to come by.
Gasoline is hard to come by right now.
That's what I was going to say.
$3.50 a gallon when I filled up last night.
I know. I filled up the other night and was,
horrible.
I just filled the back of the car with gasoline. I just filled up the whole.
Did you see all those people filling up bags of gasoline because we had a shortage? Yeah, so
that's really
spoiler
dangerous.
alert. We're filming this in May,
or on your birthday.
Yeah, sure. But basically, when I was actually down in Georgia, there is a gas shortage on the East Coast, and we went to 4 gas stations in Georgia, and they were sold out.
Wow!
So people started hoarding gas because people are dumb.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 images circulated the internet. One of a guy with trash bags full of gasoline in his trunk.
Oh my gosh!
Which the I forget the acronym. The National Highway Safety Administration.
NHSA.
NHSA tweeted, or it might have been actually the federal, what is it? Travel agency or whatever. Some big government agency tweeted that photo and was like, "Do not do this."
That's what they would call an unapproved container.
Yes, very unapproved.
Unapproved.
My friend who lives in the city, she got a notice from the landlord saying, "Please do not bring any gas containers into your home."
Wow.
And then another image circulated of a family filling up jerry cans, like those those red
Yeah,
jerry
yeah.
cans that we have.
Yeah.
They were stacking them sideways in their car full of gas.
Sideways.
So if any cap has any form of leakage,
wow.
or if you want to light up a cigarette on the way home, all those fumes are just building.
Wow. Which is the most dangerous part of gasoline.
Yeah, it is the fumes.
I mean,
it's not actually the liquid.
Yep.
Which the liquid is obviously very flammable, but
yeah.
But yeah.
Yep.
So
exactly. I learned that as a kid. So
technically, you can boil gasoline though.
You can?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
as long as the fumes don't hit the open flame, you can technically boil gasoline.
Okay.
Fun fact.
Well, interesting. Good to know.
So think about that. Thank you guys so much for listening to the Unnamed Movie Car Podcast. We'll be at you next with the Cannonball Run 2. Check us out on Spotify. Thanks for listening.
All right. Bye-bye.